Human history, as we learn it today, feels complete. Civilizations rise, civilizations fall, and humanity slowly moves forward through time. But what if the earliest chapters of our story were never meant to be remembered? Long before modern nations, before religion as we know it, and even before recorded history officially begins, there existed a civilization so advanced that it still confuses historians today. That civilization was Sumer, located in ancient Mesopotamia between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. The Sumerians didn't just leave behind ruins. They left behind thousands of clay tablets written in one of the oldest known forms of writing, cuneiform. And within those tablets is a story that has quietly survived for more than 6,000 years. It is the story of the Anunnaki. According to the Sumerian texts, the Anunnaki were powerful beings who descended from the heavens. They were not described as symbols or metaphors, but as real entities who interacted directly with humanity. The tablets say they came from the sky, established authority on earth, and shaped early civilization. In Sumerian belief, the Anunnaki were responsible for the laws of nature, the order of society, and the fate of kings. They were the ones who brought knowledge, agriculture, mathematics, astronomy, and writing itself. To the Sumerians, these beings were not imaginary gods. They were teachers. One of the most fascinating details found in the tablets is how humanity itself is described. The tablets suggest that humans were created to work alongside the Anunnaki. Early humans were not advanced enough on their own, so the Anunnaki intervened. The tablets describe a process that sounds surprisingly technical, the combining of earthly life with the essence of the Anunnaki. While ancient people did not have words like DNA or genetics, the descriptions strongly resemble some form of biological modification. This idea that humans were deliberately altered is one of the reasons these texts remain controversial today. Modern historians often dismiss these accounts as myth, but myths usually serve a purpose. They preserve memory when facts are too dangerous to keep openly. As human populations grew, the Sumerians believed that the Anunnaki ruled from great cities. They were said to live much longer than humans and possessed knowledge beyond human understanding. Kings ruled by their authority, claiming divine permission to lead. But according to the tablets, peace did not last forever. The Anunnaki began to disagree amongst themselves. Some wished to protect humanity. Others saw humans as a growing problem. And then came the disaster. Almost every ancient culture speaks of a massive flood. The Sumerian tablets are no exception. Long before the biblical story of Noah was written, most of humanity. In their version of the story, the flood was not an accident. It was a decision. The Anunnaki knew the flood was coming. Some of them wanted humanity erased, while others secretly warned a small group of humans to survive and rebuild afterward. When the waters finally receded, civilization began again, but something had changed. The Anunnaki were no longer openly present. After the flood, the tablets suggest that the Anunnaki gradually withdrew from direct rule. Humans were left with fragments of knowledge, enough to rebuild society, but not enough to understand the full truth of their origins. Over time, the Anunnaki became gods, then legends, and finally myths. Their advanced knowledge faded into symbolism. Their technology became magic. Their presence became stories told by priests. History moved on. What makes this story even more intriguing is that similar beings appear in many other ancient cultures. In Egypt, there were sky gods who ruled for thousands of years. In Mesoamerica, gods descended from the heavens and taught civilization. In ancient India, flying machines and divine weapons were described in sacred texts. These cultures had no contact with each other, yet their stories sound strangely familiar. Some researchers believe this is no coincidence. They suggest that ancient people were describing the same events, interpreted through different cultural lenses. Over time, the original truth was lost, replaced by religion, symbolism, and belief. But the stone tablets remained, silent, patient, waiting. Today, many of these tablets sit in museums, unread by the public. Only a small number of experts can translate them, and even fewer are willing to discuss their more unusual details, because the implications are unsettling. If the Anunnaki were real, then human history is incomplete, and humanity may not be as independent as we believe. The Sumerian texts never clearly state that the Anunnaki are gone forever. Instead, they suggest a cycle: arrival, rule, withdrawal, observation from a distance. Some believe that modern reports of unexplained aerial phenomena, advanced technology sightings, and sudden leaps in human knowledge are echoes of this ancient relationship. Not proof, but reminders. Whether the Anunnaki were advanced beings, misunderstood travelers, or symbolic representations of lost knowledge remains unanswered. What matters is this: the earliest civilization in human history believed without doubt that humanity was guided, shaped, and watched over by beings from the sky. And they wrote it all down, not as fantasy, but as history. Perhaps the greatest mystery is not whether the Anunnaki existed, but why we stopped asking about them.